here! Get out of here!
Okay, is it going?
Yeah, it's going.
Okay. Tell me who you are.
I am Brenden Morgan, and I'm the drummer.
How did you first get into music?
Yeah, so my dad had like 5,000 songs on his computer, and they were all like 80s, and then there's like alternative rock on there, classical rock, you know, you got like AC/DC, Motorhead, it's not really classical, it's like metal. The Killers, listened to a lot of the Killers, and a lot of Weezer, and that's how I started, like 6th grade.
So how'd you learn to play the drums?
I learned off of Rock Band, the video game. I mainly played to the classical rock songs, and then like when Modest Mouse was on there, I was like, I need to learn how to play this indie stuff. And so I started playing Rock Band. I learned rhythm. Like I got 4/4 time, I got 6/8 time. A lot of the music theory things they teach you like in a class when you learn how to play an instrument. And then after about a year of that, I started playing at Hopedale Baptist Church on these electric set drums, which is worship. And so that was a little bit of a change though, because like most of the music I had played up until that point was very complex, and then Christian music it tends to be very
Formulaic.
and formulaic. And, yeah.
So then you taught yourself entirely how to play the drums?
Yeah. I usually say Rock Band was my mentor. Just go out in the garage and listen to music, and I'll just play to the back of them. After you do that for like a couple thousand songs, you get the feel of every song.
Do you ever feel like that holds you back at all?
Yeah, actually, I drum at River Bluff right now, and it's more showy. It's almost like concert-esque, and so there's like click tracks that go in your ear. The music leader is more hardcore if you're not on beat. So yeah, it's a bit of a holdback just because there's a lot of things that like I didn't learn. Like I didn't learn how to do cadences. And then there's just kind of a barrier. There's a barrier between the other musicians because I have a buddy who learned how to play the guitar through another guy, and then so like learning scales and everything really helped him like take leaps and bounds later on in his career, while I just took leaps and bounds at the beginning of my career, and I've kind of hit a wall. It's harder to learn sheet music, but then again, like for what I use music for, I don't feel like I need it.
Do you think there are advantages to having taught yourself over having been trained?
Yeah, especially for what I do. So when I play like in worship band, or when I play, you know, with just some buddies, I'm able to fiddle around more, just because I have like preset beats in my head. I have like what jazz sounds like, I have what classical rock sounds like, I have what, indie rock, alternative rock, all those kind of sounds, they have different feels. And I've got that down, where sheet music can't teach you that.
So do you think playing drums has shaped the way you listen to music?
Yeah, for sure. It really does. Because if it's not a complex instrumental track, I tend to not like it. I don't focus on the vocals too much. The lyrics don't really affect me. It's the music itself.
What does music mean to you? What is it to you?
Oh man. Everything. I feel like everything is music. Just like people that I like to identify as, who like just use music for everything, and you hear it in everything. And I feel like it's a universal language. I feel like if you want to bring people together, music would be that. Because where a language barrier exists, music is universal. And it helps me through like times of need, times of, you know, rejoicing, for thinking, for studying. I listen to it all the time.
Adair, and I play cello, piano, and my vocal cords.
How did you first get into music?
I've really been a part of music for my entire life because my mom uses it as a stress reliever. So she would play it while she was pregnant with me, and like while I was a baby, and really she still plays it, so however many years that is. But I started taking piano lessons at the age of 5 from a lady at our church. I started going to choir when I was in 5th grade, and our choir was really, really good. There's nothing more to say about that. And then I started taking cello lessons when I was in 7th grade, I think. It might have been 6th grade. But.
Okay. So you would say that you received classical training for
Yes.
music. Do you ever feel like that holds you back at all?
I did not receive a lot of ear training when I was little.
Mhm.
I pretty much just played what was on the page. And I think that's one benefit you would have from being self-taught is learning how to use your ears better to play popular melodies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely a benefit of the way I was taught was that I can play what's on a written page. And then a lot of self-taught people cannot do that very well.
So besides the reading music, do you think there are advantages over having taught yourself?
Yeah, because a lot of what goes into a lesson is technique, and that's one noticeable difference between being self-taught and having lessons, is just the technique. Like, I'm a very relaxed piano player, which is not a lot of self-taught people can say that, and also my cello teacher was like the most relaxed musician I've ever seen. If you look at him play the cello, he doesn't look like he's making music at all, but then you listen to it and you're like, okay. I understand why you're so prestigious.
So what is music to you?
This is going to sound really cheesy, but I really feel like music is just an expression of the soul, because it's a lot like poetry. That's why I like singing so much, is because you're singing poetry, so you're putting a tune to these wonderful words. But just instrumental music can be that way too. It reminds me, one of my favorite songs is Then Sings My Soul, that hymn. Yeah, it's just an outpouring of your heart. And for me, it's an outpouring of my heart to God. I understand that a lot of musicians don't feel that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like a special language that I have with God. So.
And do you think that that being a musician has changed the way you listen to music?
Yes, because when you're a musician, you can't just listen to music. You have to analyze it and put it in its place. So, yeah, it definitely has changed the way I listen to music. I still listen to music for fun, but not as often as I did when I was younger
harder.
and I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.